goblet Hindu squats, and push-ups. So I did 100 of each. Well, maybe not on the goblet Hindu squats, since the first set I just did regular Hindu squats. And then, of course, you're going to see the push-ups. I decided to work out in my room since I was working with little to no equipment outside of the single dumbbell I was using. Seeing as I have the new space and everything, then, there's no reason for me to, have, go into that downstairs workout room where it's going to be cold. And I am also fasting today, so I wanted to make sure I did something light. And I was fasting and going to work today, so I have work later on. I'll be working for, the most of the night, so I just kind of want to make sure I'm not going to strain myself too much to where, I might feel nauseated or something like that later in the day because I spent up, a good amount of energy working out, and then I'm also working. So that's why today is just kind of like just a lighter day. I made sure everything was slow and controlled. I didn't try and go fast or anything like that. It was just a peaceful workout. That's all I have to say. A peaceful workout. It's not like I was breathing hard or anything like that throughout the entire workout. But one thing I was kind of thinking about was how this morning. So when it comes to my new, I guess, situation, I mean, this is my bedroom that I've grown up in my entire life, basically. But recently I've made a big change, which is having the bed out of my room. So I've moved the bed out of my room. It's somewhere else now, and it's in a different room now. And now I sleep on the floor. So my whole entire situation is that I have a sheet that I lay on the floor, then I have a duvet that I fold in half, then I have a blanket that I fold in half and sleep on top of that, and then I have my duvet and a smaller blanket that I sleep under with two pillows and one small little head pillow. I have gotten used to sleeping on the floor for the past couple of months, maybe 2 months now. Before then, when I had the bed in my room, of course, I would just sleep on the space where there was enough, space for me to sleep on the floor, just to kind of get accustomed to it. At first, it was pretty hard. I would get like pain in my hips, like sharp pains in my hips, because my body wasn't used to being on much firmer surfaces. There's like things in my ankles. Whenever I would move around in bed or when I was asleep, whenever I would move around, I would toss and turn. I would wake up every time I would toss and turn. And it kind of made me realize how much tension we still carry in our bodies whilst laying on like a soft cushion mattress. Then if we were laying on the floor, we would learn to kind of relax our bodies more completely. But if you are going to sleep on the floor, I would probably recommend like, doing it for at least a month, because I don't think a week is enough to kind of yield any of the, results or the benefits. I would say you would have to sleep on the floor for at least 30 days, maybe 30 days on and off. But when it comes to my whole new situation, right? I like to fold up and put in my bed. You're going to see here in the little corner, I have all my sheets and my pillows rolled up and folded up and put into the corner when I'm not sleeping in my room. So this kind of allows me to be a lot more active in the morning. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is I guess I put away my bed. Maybe you could say that. And it kind of allows me to live a bit more of an active lifestyle. And then towards the end of the night, I have to roll out my bed. And for me this morning, it was kind of almost difficult for me to, take my bed apart and, put it into the corner. So I just kind of sat there looking at like the sheets and the pillows just kind of laying there on the ground, kind of like, twisted around and everything since I had just woken up. And I'm just kind of thinking like, I know I need to make that bed. I need to make that bed. I need to make that bed. Just kind of thinking, just sitting there. And just sometimes this is a hard process. Maybe it might be especially harder for me since I actually have to like kneel down and squat down and like, bend over and everything to roll my bed over. But some people have this difficulty when it comes to just making up a regular bed, right? When it comes to making up a regular bed, all you have to do is reposition the pillows, and then lay the cover flat over the bed for the most part, right? That's a made bed to me. And a lot of people struggle with this. I even struggled with this for a while. And it's not like something I would do intentionally. It was just something I would forego. That should be the first thing you do when you wake up. The first thing you do when you wake up is to make your bed and not like, move on to anything else. Now, unless something is really getting in the way, like you have to wake up and you have to go like immediately, and then maybe you can take care of your bed. But in general, the first thing we should be doing is making up our bed when we wake up in the morning, right? My father would always tell us that cleanliness starts with your room, and he's absolutely right. He grew up in a culture where everybody was cleaning, everybody had to clean, where just kind of like sanitation and cleanliness was very important. So he urges my sister and I to clean our spaces. If we're going to start cleaning, start with our own spaces. Therefore, we're going to know how to take care of the space of others. And a part of that cleaning would be something as simple as making up your bed. Not even like dusting off your window or sweeping the corners of your floor or rearranging your closet. Start with your bed, right? If you can't do your bed, then you're not able to do anything else, because that shows. If you can't just simply, fold your sheets over and lay your cover over your bed, then what does that show, right? And now, like, I know this situation is like the funniest thing to imagine. Like, if a guest were to just randomly come into your house, and then the first thing they would do is like to go into your room. That's kind of like the criticism a lot of kids will give, not to their parents directly, but they'll just kind of like think it where like, what's the point of me having my room so nice and neat? It's not like if we have a guest over, it's not like they're gonna come in my room. But that's not the point. What your parents are trying to teach you is an important life skill of just taking care of your own space, right? If you're not taking care of the cleanliness of your room, then just think about when you're going to move into your own space, right? Think about when you're going to have children. Think about when you're going to have like a partner, and you guys are all living in your own personal space, and you're not teaching your children how to take care of that, right? So at some point you have to grow up and you have to make your bed, you have to sweep your floor, you have to rearrange your closet, things like that, because that's very important, right? And it's not just important just to be clean, but it's kind of important for discipline and consistency, right? You might not want to always, rearrange your pillows and lay your cover over your bed neatly, but you have to because you have something to maintain, you have your own space to maintain. And when you clean your space, you kind of feel more civilized, right? You kind of feel like you live in a space of someone who actually knows what they're doing and has their life together, and therefore you're going to have that mentality, that same mentality. Now, some of us might have rooms that are a bit more junkier or a bit more cluttered than others, because we might carry so many things that we don't need, or maybe we are, example, an artist. You see all my paintings and all my materials right there, and that corner where my table is. That's probably the most cluttered space in my room outside of maybe my dresser, which I should probably take care of, to be honest. But still, just the simple process of making up your bed is something that we all have to do every single morning without any exceptions. Again, unless things get way too busy for whatever the case may be as to why you couldn't just rearrange your pillows and lay your cover over your bed properly. Our brains are also attracted to things that we see as clean. When we see something incredibly dirty, think of maybe you have a friend, or maybe you have a relative or someone that just their car is just incredibly junky. Like, you can't even get your feet in the passenger seat if you could, right? You don't even feel comfortable maybe even sitting down in their own house, or their own car, whatever the case may be. And at the same time, it's not like these people like to live in that junk. They might have their own issues or problems as to why they don't keep their spaces that clean, whether it just be laziness, depression, or they lack the ability to, for whatever reason. And they don't enjoy those spaces either, right? So, and you'll kind of find, maybe let's say those times where you might randomly just decide to clean your room or decide to clean whatever space, you'll just kind of get a bit of mental clarity and you'll get accomplishment. So imagine if you kind of do those little things every single day to where your room doesn't get so cluttered and junky and dirty, so that all the time, every time you come into your room, every time you come into your own space, it's clean. It looks like a civilized, regular human being is in there and not some type of beastly animal that, like, walks out of its cave. Making sure you wash your clothes properly so then it doesn't leave a stink in your room or whatever. Like, wash your clothes like once a week, things like that. Don't just leave it in your room and then have it pile up and everything. Don't leave laundry on your bed. That was one thing, bro. That was one problem. I would I would do my laundry. I'll bring it in my room and I would just put it on my bed. And sometimes I'd be so lazy just to fold up my clothes. I'd be so lazy just to fold up my clothes. I would sleep. I would sleep in my bed with my clean underwear, my clean pants, my clean shirts, just all of a pile just on me. Like, come on. That's not a proper way to do things, bro. And then it's funny because a lot of the cleaning that you probably have to do in reality only takes probably 15 to 30 minutes, right? Maybe at the very least, some of the stuff, the big messes, might be just 15 minutes to do. Just 15 minutes of your time and your focus on just those couple of things can make such a big difference within the cleanliness of your own space. So it's just, don't wait to do it. Don't dilly dally. Don't just sit around, literally in your own filth, wondering as to why you don't feel well, right? Even just having a dirty room can make us feel sick because of maybe all the dust and all the bacteria and all the germs that we've allowed to accumulate within our spaces, making it harder to kind of think straight, right? And that's one thing too. I'm not going to urge everybody to move their bed out of the room and then start sleeping on the floor. But with me moving the bed, since dust, I no longer have somewhere, or at least I don't have a large space to where dust is just going to collect under, to where I can't reach it. I can now actually just literally move my sheets off the floor all the time, and I can sweep here and there whenever I see a collection of dust, right? I'm not going to move my bed and my mattress frame and my, whatever every time I want to clean under it. So when I did first move that stuff, it was just like possibly years of just hair and socks and random little things that ended up under my bed. And after cleaning everything and gaining all that new space, I've even noticed, kind of my health getting better. My nose doesn't get as runny. I don't sneeze as often, things like that. I just feel more clean. So, moral of the story is make up your bed, basically, right? This might have just been about cleaning, but make up your bed because it's so important. It's something that can just that little tiny simple thing can carry out to many aspects of your life, whether it comes to consistency, discipline, hard work, just staying on it, right? Because if you can't make up your bed, what can you do?